You know, there's something about turning 48. It just hits differently. It's not a big milestone like 40 or 50, but it carries the weight of all those years in between. At 48, I've trudged through life collecting experiences like coins in a piggy bank rattling around in my head. As I sit here reflecting on this journey, I realize that there are three key lessons that have profoundly shaped me into being a better man. And no, this isn't some cliche, life begins at 40 motivational spiel. This is real. This is raw. This is what I've learned. The vulnerability isn't it's not a weakness. I remember being the tough guy, hiding behind a facade of strength. In my 20s and 30s, I equated vulnerability with failure. The world was just a battleground, and I was the warrior who had to march through it unscathed. But as I crested into my late 40s, I realized that holding my emotion at arm's length was doing me more harm than good. Being vulnerable doesn't mean I'm weak. It just means I'm human. And I watched those around me, friends, family, even my own children, navigate their own struggles. And it struck me that when I shared my own fears, my insecurities, it literally opened a door to connection. One night I was, sitting across from my son, and he confessed about his own self-doubt. And in that moment, I chose to share my early career setbacks, the times that I felt unworthy, lost, and, unsure. We laughed, we cried, and for the first time, I felt like we were truly communicating, not just father and son, but two people having a real, honest conversation. And this realization taught me that acknowledging my vulnerabilities created an atmosphere where others felt safe to do the same. It reminds me of this quote I once read. And it says, you can't be brave if you've only had wonderful things happen to you. And I want to raise my children to be brave and expressing who they are. And that starts with me living authentically. A thing that I've learned is that self-care is essential. It's not indulgent. And let's face it, we live in a world that glorifies hustle at the expense of health. For years, I bought into that culture, thinking that if I worked harder and pushed myself longer, that I'd be admired, respected, I'd be successful. But that comes at a severe cost, doesn't it? Like, by neglecting my health, I was robbing not only myself, but my loved ones of the man that I could be. I vividly remember the day when I bent over at the gym grasping for air after a particularly taxing workout. I was 46, overweight, and realizing I didn't have the stamina I thought I did. Suddenly a thought hit me. What if I could do better? So I began prioritizing self-care, not in a pampered, treat yourself kind of way, but genuinely recognizing that if I don't take care of myself, I can't take care of anyone else. Now, self-care is part of my routine, whether I'm hitting the gym, meditating, or escape reading a book on the porch. It's not about being selfish. It's about being effective. I want to be fully present for my family, for my friends, and most importantly, for myself. I'm learning that I'm a better partner, a better friend, and a better father when I approach life from a place of balance and wellness and not just pure exhaustion. The final thing that I wanted to touch on was gratitude changes the game. The final lesson is perhaps the most transformative here. Practicing gratitude. It's easy to get caught up in what's going wrong, the stress of deadlines, the pressure to earn more, the feeling of not doing enough. All this can feel very overwhelming, but stepping back and just appreciating the positives has been a game changer for me. Initially I found it awkward. Reflecting on my day, I'd think, what am I grateful for? And I'd come up blank. However, I decided to shift my mindset. Simple things, the taste of morning coffee, a laugh shared with my daughter over our favorite show, the smell of fresh rain when you walk outside first thing in the morning. It was a revelation to recognize that joy exists alongside chaos. Practicing gratitude has helped me live in the moment rather than getting tangled in the weeds of worry. And it's infectious. When I share my gratitude with my family, they start to look for their own moments of joy. We've created a ritual at dinner where we share something we're grateful for from the day. It opens up conversations, lifts spirits. It allows us to bond as a family or as a couple. It's truly amazing how a little shift in perspective can elevate the everyday. So here I am at 48, a decade well loved, still learning and growing. Vulnerability has made my connections deeper, more meaningful. Self-care has propelled me toward a healthier lifestyle, allowing me to show up for those I love. And gratitude, it's like a secret weapon that lights my way through life's storms. So, to all the souls navigating similar paths, remember, vulnerability is your strength, self-care is a necessity, and gratitude can change the way you see the world. Life may not be perfect, but leaning into these lessons has transformed me into a better man. And if I can use any of my experiences to inspire a shift in someone else, then all these years have been worth it. Here's to the next chapter. Cheers.